Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Wealth Creation Through Industrialization. I am Hadiza, Olaosebikan. Tonight's program will feature one of the low-hanging fruits of the Memorandum of Understanding signed between the Bank of Industry and the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development on the establishment of the 4.3 billion naira facility under the 10 billion naira Cassava Bread Fund, approved by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Omsal Nigeria Limited, a cassava processing and milling factory, is one of the many beneficiaries of the Cassava Fund. The company recently commissioned its newly upgraded flash dryers equipment in its factory at Ayede-Ekiti, Ekiti State. The event witnessed an influx of dignitaries into the town, which included the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, officials of the Ekiti State Government, the Bank of Industry, and other relevant stakeholders in the cassava value chain. Just before we bring you the highlight of the event, we'll recall the Honorable Minister speaking at the MOU signing of the fund, which took place some months back in Abuja. Happy viewing. In December 2013, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Bank of Industry to create a facility of 4.3 billion naira to support master bakers, small and medium enterprises, and large-scale industrial cassava flour mills. At the signing ceremony, the minister outlined how the fund is going to be utilized.
A total of 1.05 billion naira will be used by the Bank of Industry to upgrade the capacity of 35 existing small-scale flour mills. This support will be provided as 50% loan as 50% grant. The Bank of Industry will provide working capital to the tune of 425 million naira as loans to the SME cassava flour processors, and I must say at single-digit interest rate. The facility will provide the sum of 468 million naira, also as working capital loans, again at single-digit interest rate, to medium and large-scale cassava flour millers. The most significant part of the facility will be for the master bakers and the industrial bakers. The facility will provide the sum of 2.2 billion naira to support the master bakers and the industrial bakers. And this will be provided as 50% loans and 50% grants. The reason is to support them to acquire new machinery and equipment.
A few months down the line, about 212 beneficiaries from the master bakers to cassava flour processors have been supported with the fund by the Bank of Industry.
We're delighted to have been instrumental in bringing to life the Cassava Bread Initiative of the Federal Ministry of Agric and Rural Development. And within a couple of months, we're able to process all the loan requests, from the beneficiaries. And there are quite a few of them. And we're glad that we're now at a stage where the plants, are being commissioned by the minister. And very soon the Cassava Bread Initiative, in terms of actually producing the cassava flour, will become reality.
And at Ayede-Ekiti in Ekiti State, one of the beneficiaries of the fund, Omsal Nigeria Limited, commissioned its newly installed flash dryer equipment for cassava processing.
I welcome all our guests to Omsal Nigeria Limited, Ayede-Ekiti, which is now in the world map of 8QCF production. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we are glad and rejoice in it. Today marks the day a little mustard seed of desire, sown sometimes in the late 80s as an undergraduate of the University of Ibadan student, and is now a big tree. Then I desired using biotechnology to produce crop at industrial level to solve food problems. This instinct eventually drove me to follow an information received through the news media, sometimes in 2006, from our then President Olusegun Obasanjo regarding the economic value of cassava via inclusion in production of bread. This prompted me to visit the State Minister of Agriculture then for land to cultivate cassava when I was still in the banking industry as a branch manager of one of the banks in town. Here is the result of the investment with massive sacrifice by my immediate family, taking all the pains now to get the gain soon. To God be all the glory. Permit me at this junction to specially appreciate the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, for his agricultural transformation agenda. This culminated into appointment of this gift to our fatherland by our farmer-loving minister, who had vowed to ensure that farmers in Nigeria do not go cap in hand, that none of our farmers will go back without something to eat. It will interest you to know that in Oyo State now, farmers are now riding jeeps. It's confirmed. So what we are seeing today is a commitment by someone that is targeted towards adding value to us.
While commending the doggedness of the promoter, Mr. Salami, the Minister of Agric urged everyone to take agriculture as a serious commercial venture, not a way of life as it's mostly regarded.
Today, Mr. Femi Salami, is a day that I'm very, very proud of you. Because as I listen to you, as a young man like you, talking about how you got into agriculture from school, and how you invested in agriculture, and all the difficulties you were facing, but you are dogged in making sure that it works. So the first thing I want to say is that for you to succeed in life, you have to have a vision, have a clear goal, have a clear plan, and have a doggedness to pursue your plan until you achieve your dreams. And I think that's what you have done here, and I want to congratulate you immensely. Agriculture is not a way of life. Agriculture is a business. And if you go around the world, you'll find that the richest people in the United States, in Europe, they're all farmers. The farmer will go to the farm with an air-conditioned car. He will get into the farm with an air-conditioned tractor. He will finish all his operations, he goes back to an air-conditioned car. Then he goes back to an air-conditioned house. At 4 o'clock at night, he takes his golf club and plays golf. And then sends you food. That is the kind of agriculture that we must have. But for that to happen, there has to be a market for everything that we produce. Nigeria today is the largest producer of cassava in the world. We produce 40 million metric tons of cassava, the largest in the world. We need to create market for that cassava. And that cassava, you can use it for starch. You can use that cassava for dry cassava chips, for exports. You can use it for high quality cassava flour, for making bread. You can use it for making ethanol. You can use it for making sweeteners that will replace the sugar that you are currently importing. And you can also use it to make what they call sorbitol, toothpaste. But cassava flour from starch is actually in Thailand being used for making all the toothpaste they use there. So cassava is a rich man's crop. And I want to make sure that cassava will unlock the potential of cassava, not just for eating, but for using for all kinds of things that will create markets and better prices for all the farmers that are in Nigeria.
He also expatiated on the commitment of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan to the transformation of Nigeria's agricultural sector.
Mr. President is a farmer-loving president. So the president is the one that is supporting all these things. It doesn't matter how committed I am. Unless the president is providing us the resources, the leadership, the commitment, the motivation, the drive, we cannot succeed. So every single success you see, people are now celebrating Nigeria's agriculture globally. You must be able to separate the instrument from the doer. The president is the one doing the work. The commissioning of this particular factory of Mr. Femi Salami will make available 7.5 tons per day of HQCF, high quality cassava flour. That would mean that the bakers will have a lot more flour, a lot better flour, and hopefully they can get it at a lower cost. We'll talk about your problem. So I want to say that I am so happy to be here, and I want to also commend and congratulate the state government, because the federal government works very, very closely with every single state government. So today I welcome you very much to this event of Omsal HQCF plant. I advise you as the Minister of Agriculture of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to eat this bread 3 times a day. And I can tell you, if you eat it 3 times a day, you'll be more handsome and more beautiful than you are looking right now. It is therefore my great pleasure and privilege, with much appreciation to God for what He has made possible, to actually be here on behalf of the President to see the fruit of the hard work that everybody has been putting here.
Thereafter, the minister led all the dignitaries to commission the new equipment as well as a tour of the factory floor.
What you are seeing here is being replicated in 20 different places soon. And I want to really say that I'm very proud of you, Novex, for what you've done in making this happen. I want to also show my appreciation for Nigeria's local bank, Bank of Industry, for the excellent work they've done in making sure that this actually came to pass. Congratulations to you. But more than anybody else is the entrepreneur himself, Pastor Femi Salami. I congratulate you on behalf of the President. I congratulate you for your vision, for your commitment, for your passion, dedication to seeing this through. And I know that you're here with your young son. It is my prayer that this factory will grow from strength to strength. It's my prayer that you will go also from wealth to wealth. It's my prayer that those that work here, there will not be any calamities or challenges for anyone. That everything that is produced here, that moves out of here, will be good product, safe product for this community and for those that are eating it beyond. Right from here, I know that the bread, cassava bread, is going to take off because of what I see here in Ekiti State. And therefore, on behalf of His Excellency the President, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, BCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who made available the Cassava Bread Fund to make this happen, I dedicate this particular meal to the glory of God and for the benefit of Nigerians and all mankind. God bless you all. Congratulations. Mr. President's support, it's a support for the value chain, from the farm up to the table. So all in all, the cassava work is working. Now what does this mean for us? It means we are turning cassava away from being just that crop into a crop that makes money. Nigerian farmers should not be poor. There's no reason why they should be poor. Nigerian farmers should be rich. For them to be rich, we have to add value to everything that we produce. So Mr. President continues to push the agricultural transformation agenda to add value. And for the cassava flour in particular, it means that if we are able to reach the industry level at 20% substitution for wheat, we'll be saving ourselves over 200 billion naira every year that will be in the hands of our farmers, processors, and local communities.
Speaking with the Wealth Creation crew, the promoter highlighted some of the benefits the equipment has brought to his business.
Our existing capacity of 4.5 is now additional 3 tons is being added to it to make it 7.5. That's what we do. And over time, that had increased the number of workforce with us, from about 20, we are now moving to about 30 per day, apart from about 50, pillars on a daily basis. And also, rural poor that we are taking cassava, because that's improved cassava, takings from the farm. The problem had always been, where do we sell our cassava to? But with this new initiative, it has increased our takings from the farm, which means farms that we take about, on a daily basis, close to 12 tons of cassava from, it has now been doubled, which means more families have been added value to, more income to the rural poor, by and large, is increasing the entire value chain.
The Managing Director of the Bank of Industry, Mr. Rashid Olaoluwa, is optimistic of the prospect of Omsal.
The prospects are very bright. This particular company, Omsal, is going along the value chain. Right now, they operate a cassava farm, which is about 110 hectares of cassava farm. And so what they're trying to do is to, rather than just harvest cassava and have it rust in the farm, they want to process to cassava flour. And that is the essence of the plant that has been commissioned.
The fabricator of the equipment, Nobex Technology, a locally based fabricating company, commended BOI for their support.
Bank of Industry is financing the project. We have relation with them. They've been able to encourage us by giving us almost 90% to fabricate the machine. So we don't have any stress of finance to do what we are doing. So in terms of acquire our materials, even choose to do our work. Right now, direct staff, we have close to about 40. And we have the people that will call when we have job at time, a contractor, we have close to almost 20. And we have about 3 companies that will outsource materials for. But this is not the first job. In 2007, they financed a project in Akure, which is a flash dryer, to a company called McMakin. It is a double cyclone flash dryer. And the flash dryer, they are still using it up to date. So that's our first job of doing the BOI. Because of the quantity of the job given to us, I think primarily they gave us 20 flash dryers to fabricate. And the first batch is 10, they gave us almost 90%. And even the second batch, they're giving us about 50%. And telling us by next week, they're going to give us another 40%. So it has really improved our system and, enhance our staff.
Clearly, it's a significant advantage, the fact that we're able to appoint suppliers of the equipment locally, to provide the equipment to the beneficiaries of the loan. It saves us, a foreign exchange, and it also empowers our people. These suppliers of the equipment that are local, we employ obviously local fabricators, and this is also job creation that we're doing.
On how he was able to access the facility from BOI, Mr. Salami has this to say.
It's been wonderful. BOI have their own structure. You need to follow the checklist. If you have not seen BOI checklist, you need to follow it. Once you follow the checklist, every other thing is okay. You all need to do is be a member of National Cassava Processor and Marketers Association. Once you are done that, you submit your application through Cassava Press to be sure that you belong to an association in Nigeria. And then they are the ones that will now route your application to the head office in Lagos.
The BOI MD, however, advised Nigerian youth to take a clue from the promoter of Omsal.
For the sake of young Nigerians who may be watching this program, I would like to say that Mr. Salami, who is the MD of that company, is somebody who has a bachelor's degree in microbiology, a master's degree in banking and finance, has a banking experience, commercial banking experience of 15 years, but he decided that it was time to go back and really do something that he has a passion for. And so I want to encourage our youths, to consider agro-processing as a business, a business that gives them a lot of opportunities, for wealth creation and for engaging themselves.
As you would have observed from the commissioning, Omsal is an example of the can-do spirit of the Nigerian entrepreneur. You have seen how BOI has assisted the company from the 4.3 billion naira Cassava fund of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. If he can access the fund and do it, you and I can also do it. So if you're a genuine entrepreneur with lofty ideas or projects that require support, please do not hesitate to visit any of BOI's offices nearest to you. Working together, we can launch our beloved country, Nigeria, into the League of Industrialized Nations. Join us again next week when we showcase other initiatives targeted at transforming the industrial sector. It's on this note that we'll draw the curtain on this week's edition of Wealth Creation Through Industrialization. I am Hadiza Olaosebikan. Good evening and have an enterprising week.